A very good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are in the second hour of Jam 316 for today. Leo ni siku ya wazazi, Tuesday. Wazazi, we have our conversations every Tuesday where we talk on issues parenting. So kama kawaida, mvute stool na kiti karibu na TV na karibu na radio. We have an interesting conversation we want to get into today, talking on issues discipline. And we want to talk about discipline strategies for children of different ages, because you don't discipline the same throughout. Depends on the age, and it depends on what the discipline is all about. So that's what we want to get into this morning. Today I get to hang out with a parent and also a psychologist, Francis Mutua. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite okay.
Karibu sana.
Thank you, Pastor
It's good
James.
to have you in studio.
Thank you to be here again and to have such an important topic.
Oh, yeah.
It's an important topic because it's quite relevant locally, regionally, and actually internationally.
Yes.
It's quite relevant.
I was thinking about this as I was thinking about this conversation.
Yes.
What really is discipline? Because we talk about disciplining our children, and many times when we talk about disciplining, the thing that comes to mind, at least for my generation, ni kuwanyorosha. But what is discipline?
Yeah, that is a very relevant question. And actually, even before probably for a minute or two, I would give a scenario.
Okay.
Because one of the researches that I've done is actually based on the street families. I've done such a research.
Okay.
And it's actually there in the people can access it actually.
Okay.
I think we can talk about that later. And I wanted to know why children end up there, leaving homes and going to that. So I have a kind of a practical experience through a research, which is empirically proven and right about children. So actually, the answer to your question is I would look at it in a very, very simple manner. If you ask anyone out there when they are sometimes abusing their children, actually, or if they are caretakers, they will tell you that they are disciplining. And they will tell you, avoid asking me because I know what I'm doing. Simply because he or she would say they are mature, and this is a child who needs guidance. I have no problem with that. Every child needs guidance.
Yeah.
But discipline, in fact, if we were even to quote the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Children, UNCR, you find that there's a clear, actually there's a legal binding principle on how a child should be disciplined.
Okay.
If going outside that, why am I saying it is binding? It's an international binding law on how a child should be disciplined. Only that in many times it is not enforced by the people who are supposed to be. Discipline is ability. Is that ability of a person, their age is notwithstanding. Even a child, yes, they have a right. That basic understanding of the law or the requirement that is, placed upon them. And keenly, carefully, and even willingly are following it. So that which is required of me, to wake up in the morning and to do this and that which is required of me as a father, that which is required on her as a mother, that is required of a child, whichever kind, whatever level of age, because we shall be coming to look at the different levels of ages which people actually think should be used as a reason for the children to be abused. That ability to understand the requirement about their life, what they are supposed to do, at what time, whichever day, and following it, persistently, consistently following what they are required to do. That is what I would call a discipline.
A discipline.
So it's actually an internal ability, to be able to understand and keenly follow what we are supposed to do. If you go outside that, then we can say you are not disciplined. So you are not disciplined. So then what is disciplining? Disciplining is trying to take the role of helping. That should be according to the UN, United Nations Convention for the Rights of the Child. Because I want us to be relevant to our topic.
Yeah.
If anyone takes the role of thinking that a child needs to do whatever needs to be right at whatever time, and them feeling that they need to help a child understand it. And the word understanding is very key for a child.
Yes.
Understanding it and following it as required, then you are, in that case, you are disciplining.
You're disciplining.
But if you do it, sorry?
So teaching
carefully, actually,
is part of the discipline.
And the child, because we cannot keep the physical features out of it. I've seen people who try to shout something to a child, they are in their bedroom, and then the mother shouts or the father shouts, "Why have I been calling you all through for the last 40 minutes?
Yes.
I mean, 10 minutes. Nahauski, you are not hearing." I mean, they say, "Why are you not, I've been calling you, you are not coming," and then they are hit. The child will say, "Dad, I've not heard." And actually, truly speaking, the child may not have heard. So the element of the physical features of the body. So there are three principles in disciplining. There's a principle of physically hearing. You cannot discipline me if I've not heard and understood.
The communication you're trying to bring across.
So the communication is key. And I know you are going to touch on that some level. So as a parent, because we are looking at that, we are talking to parents, communication is key. Has he heard and understood? That should come out clearly. So the element of how you letting the child, because we are talking about children, hear and ensuring that they have heard. Number two, have they encoded? We now go to the brain. Encoding is critical. Because when I hear, and that's why you find some children in school, they fail. And because some teachers, being parents, probably they have not created an interest to know why this child is failing. And if they are handled by a different teacher, they are top. But when they are handled, or a person, they are handled by a different person, they fail. Because he or she is not keen to ensure that physically it's heard. Number two, has the child encoded in the brain? Because we have a memory lobe of the brain. Have they captured? Have they encoded? Then the issue, if you are disciplining, you must now you will prove that they got what you are telling them if now they begin to bring out what you said, because it is understood, it's well encoded. Now their behavior naturally will bring out what is in them. In fact, even strengthening it with a verse in the Bible is about if you discipline a child in the right way, even when they grow in future, because it went into their they will not go out of the teachings.
From it.
So why? Because it is well encoded and understood. So the principle of understanding is very key.
So from what you're saying, it's very important for a parent not to make an assumption, because I remember when we got married and we were preparing for our first child, one of the things I was told that I've never forgotten. I was told, you never reprimand where you did not teach.
You never?
Yes. You can't punish a child for something you never taught them.
You cannot.
Because where did you expect them to learn it? So never make an assumption. So don't be so quick with the cane. If you haven't gotten down to the level of the child, did they understand? Did you teach them? If you taught them and they are rebelling against what they know they should do, that's another story. But maybe they haven't understood.
You see, what we are saying here is very important, because bringing up a child, and also which involves discipline as an aspect of bringing up the child, or a role of a parent, is actually real work.
It is.
And that's why you find, I'll give you a brilliant example. in the Western nations or countries, when people begin making babies, or when they begin producing, you will find one of the parents must resign and go back. Of course, economically they are well, they are not like us. But even if they are not well-to-do, one of the parents must be able to leave their work and go and keep the babies until they mature.
Yes.
Because it's real work.
It is.
You see the principle of, for example, if you look at the children now, you can discipline a child as young as 3 years old. But you see the way me and you, we understand it from the African upbringing.
Yes.
And what I would call the family culture in the African setup is that disciplining is not positive.
Yeah,
and
it's not.
There must be an element which is actually the United Nations Convention Rights for the child is so much against. They believe in inflicting pain. And I know, me and you know that if somebody abuses a child, they will always go back to the Bible. And they will not use the Bible as a tool that God has given as a toolkit for people to live using.
Yes.
Actually, the Bible is actually these are the principles that God wants us to follow.
Yeah.
And family is key in this area.
Very key.
So you find, even on the psychology, because psychology and the Bible, you'll find that there are scholars who agree. There are scholars who agree so much with the Bible. There are scholars who agree with the Bible.
Yeah.
But that is not, that's a different topic. So you find the issue of knowing that a child as young as 3 years needs discipline. But now, how you do it is now very key. And you are not just going to get a piece of wood and hit a child. And they did not understand the element of them understanding initially. Dad does not, like I still remember, and I thank God for my late father so much, because he used to, the day that, and I wouldn't say that my father was learned. He was not. He was, but he had that understanding. Or the proper understanding as a person, as a mature person. He used to, the day that he was to discipline us was very different from the day that he mentioned. And I don't know where he learned this. He must have been taught by someone. He would, like now today, Tuesday, he would say that today is on Tuesday morning, before he goes for work, he would tell us, tomorrow you will tell me why you did A, B, C, D. Probably he got the communication from our mother that there's an area we are not doing things right. Tomorrow, not today. Not today.
Tomorrow.
Our father never ambushed us.
Oh.
And I don't know where he learned that. And that's what, even in what we are, as an expert now, a counseling psychologist, that's what I look at. Did you explain to the child? Did you explain to them?
So what
they there are stages. It should be well placed.
Okay.
What you expect about a child. You tell them, Peter, every time you go to bed, I don't want you to go and play there. I don't want you to move with your gadgets there to play. Your bedroom is meant for sleeping. So if you go at 8 because of school tomorrow, I will expect you to go and sleep. And sleep, have enough sleep. Don't go and play in there. If I find you playing in there, I'll do
ABC.
But we're also talking about positive reinforcement here, that doing things in the right way, so that you motivate them even to sleep, because you are helping them. Remember, what people fail to know, coming back to your question, is that if a child fails, they can become a black sheep in the family. And when they become a black sheep, no one will be peaceful. If you get one child going into substance abuse or addiction, they will become what I would call a black sheep.
The whole family.
That black sheep, the family will now need to turn up for family therapy. It will not be individual that I'm taking it will no longer be a child therapy, but a family one, because everyone is sick. So if a child's life goes down, the entire family also is affected.
Also, yeah.
That's why I began by saying discipline is work. It's a duty, it's a key role of a parent. Now, what do I mean before we move to the next level? That even the parent must learn. And that's what the Charter says, the United Nations Charter for the Rights of Children. The parent must learn. And learning comes after being taught. They must be ready to learn how to discipline a child so that what they are doing becomes gainful and not negative. There's a way you can do it, and I've seen it on TV many times. Huyu mwalimu alichapa mtoto akamng'oa meno.
Yes.
So what are you bringing up? Are you still bringing up a child or a human being or an animal?
Yeah.
Because you are now building, remember you are helping someone come up with a personality that will be positive to the society.
Okay.
But when now you become abusive, you realize that now you are not coming up with the right personality. You are bringing up somebody who is different altogether.
Very true.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because it seems like communication is a big aspect of this journey. How do you communicate to different children at different age levels?
Okay.
How do you navigate through that?
That's a very, 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 in fact, and even if we were to handle that alone, because we want to help people out there, it will be very important. A child who is, and I'll go through ages, a child who's, let's talk about a child, let's begin with 3 years. A child who is, even the one who are below 3 years, they still need discipline, and whatever we are to say is going to take care of that. A child who is young up to 6 years, what they need to understand is, because actually they don't know what they are doing is wrong.
Yeah, they don't know.
I'll give you an example.
They don't know.
I've seen in places, in public places, could it be in a school where a teacher has a vehicle, or even in the church, the pastor's car.
Yes.
And you know every child wants to see the pastor's car, pastor. So you find that, like I used to see, you know, every time the pastor comes from the gate, they want to. Every time the teacher comes from the gate, they want to. Every time their father comes in. So you will see them. If it was not explained to them that scratching vehicles is not right.
Yes.
And I've seen parents protecting their children when they are told, amechora gari ya mtu. You see the way what has happened? Some colors are so much affected.
Oh, yes.
It is the role of the parent to tell the child, when we go to church, don't go near people's cars. Leave alone scratching on them with a piece of metal. And you will see a child scratch the teacher's vehicle, and they will go and call the teacher. Mwalimu, can you see I know how to write?
I know how to write.
What does that one tell you? What that one tells you is that the child is innocent.
Is innocent.
They need proper communication and understand. I went to another school where there was a problem about children going to the toilet and every one of them helping themselves on the side. They don't pima, they don't.
Yeah.
And that problem at some level disappeared. So I engaged the head teacher and asked him, this problem was so much there.
Yeah, what happened?
What happened? He told me it's about communicating to these young kids. You know, Peter, John, you know, Jen. You can even go with them to the toilet.
And show them.
Don't do it on the side.
Yes.
This is how you need to do it. Do you have a problem with that? No, teacher. Will you do it at the right place? Yes. Will you do it flush the way I've shown you? Yes. You will never see that problem again. But in other schools, it's a serious problem because of the people want to use force. And that's why now I want to come to the issue of individuality in discipline.
Before you go there, I want to take you back to the car scenario.
Yes.
Because that car scenario is something I've personally faced.
Yes.
It's happened. My son scratched somebody's car.
Yes.
And we had to respray the whole car. It was
You did?
Yes.
Wow.
The other parent could not understand. They said, hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Your son did this. I said, it's fine.
And it was costly.
I had to respray the whole car. The whole car.
The whole car.
Yes.
Yes, now I
Sema
understand.
lazima ifanane yote. Ukipiga tu hii pande hii moja rangi, this side will look newer than the other side. I don't want many issues.
And the rangi because
mi ni mchungaji, sitaki kukosana na majirani. I said it is fine.
Kweli.
You take it to your mechanic, bring me the quotation, we'll sort it out. So we sorted it out. But the question I wanted to ask, because I've seen this happen several times,
yes,
where a child does that, and the parent, now me the parent, because I'm coming from the place of, this thing is going to cost me a lot of money,
yes,
then I severely
punish
the child.
Severely.
Is that right?
You know, that's why I was saying,
yeah,
you know, it has reached somewhere, and that's what the United Nations Convention for the Rights of a Child is trying to help parents understand in the entire world, that the work of disciplining a child is either the caregiver or the parent is work like any other, and it is something that you must learn.
Yeah,
because even as you discipline the child, there's also the element of you coming in, because as you do it to them, you'll also be very careful so that they learn it from them. So what we are trying to tell them is that indirectly is that as you become the right kind of a citizen through this behavior, the right kind of a person, you will also see me be very careful. You know what you are trying to say? There's no way that you'll tell your son not to go helping yourself, you know, on the side of the road. I've seen people who just, and it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
And they come back and continue with what they were doing. The son will see that and they'll follow
and
that.
They'll pick it up.
But so it means if you told them that doing that, look for somewhere right, look for a toilet somewhere, look for somewhere right and get assisted. Even if you are not in a neighborhood that is, you know, that you are used to, just request the security person, is there somewhere I can help myself? It means yourself, if you tell them that, you will never do it also. So it's a two-way. That's what I wanted now to come out.
Yeah.
It's a two-way. As you do it in the child, you're also doing it to yourself. You're speaking to yourself.
Okay.
That idea of coming back with the bitterness, and because you have sprayed an entire car,
yes,
and now inflict pain on the child, that one shows that you had not prepared. That one shows that it was not expected. Remember, the bottom line for discipline is to deal with a problem, unexpected problem in future. Actually, we call it anticipated.
Anticipated.
You are anticipating that this child can go out and draw people, you know, scratch people's vehicles.
Yeah. This
child can go out and mess, you know, the lighting system in our neighbor. They can hit with a stone. So you try as many areas as possible to tell them that you. So if you have not done that, now you go to inflict the pain because it is something that has come unexpectedly. But if it was expected, you will now, and you know, most likely they will not do it. And if they do it, you will remind them now.
Yeah.
What did I tell you? Can you sit here? And the child will repeat, Dad, you said I should never do this.
Yeah.
What did I tell you? If you do it, should happen.
Yeah.
They will say, you told me you'll punish me.
Yeah.
And actually, you can see families where you even see a father or mother, a parent tell the child, go for the disciplining.
Yes.
And they'll let ile kitu, and they'll come with whatever you use to discipline. They can come with a belt, or they can come with a small piece of wood which you have kept somewhere. They know there's a tool for that too, for recourse. Okay. Now, if you now, because they understand, they will never repeat it.
They will never repeat.
They will never repeat it. So it will not be accidental. That's why in discipline, we should, as much as possible, avoid the element of it coming out of an accidental act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to get into some music, but the other thing we'll talk about is I've seen situations where, and I saw this a lot growing up, where some homes, the father is so feared.
Yes.
Because he's such a disciplinarian.
Yeah.
You know, your dad is coming home from work. The moment you see him or you hear the car coming, all the children scatter. Yeah. For us, it was very opposite. Us, we would run towards the car. because we are happy dad has come
Dad
home.
has you know that you are protected.
We know
now.
that, yes. It's Parenting Tuesday on Jam 316 on both Family TV and Family Radio 316. This morning, we are hanging out with psychologist Francis Mutua. We are looking at discipline strategies for children of different ages. Your thoughts are welcome to 0316 SMS, WhatsApp 0786 316 316. Before we went into the music, I was asking about homes where the dad is like this fierce lion.
Yeah.
The kids can hardly do anything. You know, they're always afraid of the father.
Yeah.
Is that a good scenario?
You know, in parenting, the way we look at it and comparing with the child therapy also, if it has to happen, or helping of, let me not talk about child therapy, but the relationship between a parent and the child.
The child, yeah.
And I'm talking about even the toddlers here. They understand.
Yeah.
They understand. The relationship has very, very important areas that must be looked into. Because if one of them does not work, then the whole system does not work right. And that's why I talked about a family with, for example, a drug addict.
Yeah.
Everyone in the family is affected.
True.
The mother is sick, the father is sick, and if there's another child, they are all sick. So they all need treatment, rather. So a father who does not, when he approaches home, I'll give the scenario when the children like it when he's around, and when they don't like it when he's around.
Yeah.
Because if they are fearful about him, it means they don't like it.
They don't like it, yeah.
Let's face it. That's what it means. So I'll begin with the positive side of it. When you walk through the gate and they see the fatherhood and they all run to open for them the gate and carry his jacket and dad, what the father is doing is to open the atmosphere so that he is able to understand his children. And one is able to deal with things as they come by.
Yes.
And the child will not keep anything to tomorrow and not tell the dad today. In fact, the dads or the parents, but now this case you have said, you have mentioned the dad. A dad who is so loved by the children, you are so sure that the way you see a child is the way they are.
Yeah.
There's nothing they hide.
Yeah.
There's one time that a certain child was being abused by somebody in school. But that child never told, but I was able to deal with that child myself personally. But the child never told the parents.
Yeah.
And that child went through an improper way of treatment for a very long time. Since they were in, I think, it must have been nursery school.
Wow.
But one person was doing something that was not right to the child.
Yeah.
You know what he used to tell the child? Nikisikia umeambia. Yes. So, but if now, because this is an unfriendly person, when they see the dad who is so friendly to them, they will tell them. The dad will just get to know.
The dad will know.
Because
the dad will even notice something is off.
The dad will even notice because of the child, the way you relate.
Yes.
Maybe it is the child who opens your gate and runs to you. They even say that I drive a bit.
Yes.
Wanakalia hapa. Uingie now kwa compound. You see, that is a different scenario because now, if they are now abused, you will see they are not behaving.
Yes.
And when you follow up, you sit them down, you sit that child down, you will now get to know whatever is happening, which indirectly is also affecting the family. For a father, so a parent who is close to the children and the love when he comes in, then that family, it opens up communication. Communication is not hindered. That's what I was coming to.
Okay.
In the other case, the opposite is true for the other scenario now. You are now coming in and you look so stern on the face. You even walk in and slap their mother as they see.
Yes.
That child, you will never get to understand them. And when they grow and they are able to depend themselves, because I want to come to that, where the purpose, what now happens in different age groups.
Yeah.
When they are able now to depend on themselves, they will go and look for the love out there. And you will just be there as I will not say a stooge, but one can conclude for them. You will just be seated there. Na utakuwa unaona wanapita tu anaenda bedroom. Whistling. They will be whistling around. You know, that tells you something. There's something not happening in this home. And they will walk out, and if they want to go out, they will see them, but they will not tell you unless you push them what is happening. But now it will be like a tug of kind of a situation. But when it is now the other way, you are able to. So it is for the parent to choose to close the communication with their children, or even to open up the door for them.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
One of the things I've seen over the years is if you're very deliberate about discipline, teaching your children right from wrong, giving them responsibilities, making them accountable from when they are young, by the time they become teenagers, you don't have many issues. And I've seen the opposite being a pastor. For many years, I was a youth pastor, and parents would bring their teenagers. Pastor, talk to this. Pastor, talk to this young girl. Pastor, talk to this young man. Because in the formative years of this child, they were left to do whatever it is they wanted to do. But now that they're teenagers, you're trying to place boundaries, and they're confused. Since when?
Or they are totally against.
Yes.
A very good question also. I think the questions that are coming forth are very important out there. The way you discipline a child 3 to 6 years, well, let me say up to 4 years, 5 years, but basically it's 6, is not the way you do for a child who is between 6 to 13. Or even for those who are 13 to 18. Because what you are trying to do with a child who is below 6, you know, in the early childhood, what you are trying to do to them is that you are trying to help them understand. I go back again to the item of understanding. So, very basic method of explaining and ensuring they understand is very important. So, you are trying to guide them and let them do what you say, but through a means of understanding. So in fact, that's why a parent can take the opportunity and pour themselves into this child. If you are a father with Christian principles, you at that age is where you go with your child, is where you show your child, because they take it 100% without questioning. So that early childhood is where you model a kind of in fact, you are trying to model a personality. For us counseling psychologists, we are very careful when somebody comes mature like you with a problem. I take him back to that age and get to know what was the environment, how did he grow?
How did you grow up?
What was the environment? How was the nurturing? Why? Because it is actually called psychodynamic therapy, where you want to go back to somebody's history and get to know how was their youthful or early stage of life. Because that is where a personality, most of who I am was set up there.
Set up at that time. Wow.
So most of it was, so you need to go back there and get to understand how was this child brought up by a parent who is a drug addict, or where did it get that? So that's why history is very important in when you're counseling someone. So that early childhood age, stage of development, is where now you can control to a very high percentage. Probably to a very high percentage. I don't want to quote figures here, but to a large extent. The child you'll be able to control that, because they take it as you give.
As you give it to them.
When they go to the mid-level childhood stage, and even the teenage, there now, my brother, you give them options. You cannot stay aside. You cannot stay away there. When they come home from school, or when you come together, I've seen parents who take their children to boarding schools, and there are people who have argued against that because of the same principle that I'm saying. If you talk to most counseling psychologists, they will tell you that they will not go the boarding way, because another person will bring in their personality into their own child, and to change that may be a problem. That's something that can be argued. But then, what I'm saying is that in that later stage of childhood, you now sit down with them and give options. You allow them to grow. Remember where people say that they have capacity, internal capacity, where they're able to bring it out.
They can think, they can reason.
You see now?
Yes.
So the environment to them, and that's why we say psychology is a very interesting topic. Because unlike sociology, psychology is about me and how my environment affects me.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
Yeah.
Because why? Because it will bring out a personality afterwards. But you see, in sociology, it's what I do. How does it affect that other person? It's also very different.
Yes.
They are somehow related, but a different approach. So now, coming back to that, your son, who is now maturing as a child, you sit down with them without the force. You sit down with them and tell them, give them options of what to do, the best options, and help them pick the one that they think that could be the best way of developing. Other than where you get a cane and hit them, they will not. They will not. You know, and I'm not against what the Bible says about discipline. It's very important.
It is.
But you know, a cane could be even the information you give.
Yeah.
A cane may even be the physical one. But also I want to tell the parents,
even how you use it is very important.
Even how you use it.
Yes.
Because if you get a cane and hit the eye, because of the child has gone out there and messed somebody's item, and probably you never helped them in the past, you can break up, you can affect them the rest of their lives.
Yes.
Because there's a part of the head you can hit, and that person will be affected forever if you ask people who are experts in that. So it is the cane could also be the way you can actually get the cane, keep here, and use it through explanation. I will use this cane if this and this is not followed. You don't keep away, but again you don't abuse it. Many times it is abused.
That's the right
and
word.
I want to talk to those people who probably they realize they were abused, be a by a parent or even a teacher or another key personality. They realize they were abused. They need to work on that so that it doesn't affect them the rest of their lives. There are people who hate going to any class. Like now in this age, we still go to school and learn.
Yeah.
But we realized that there are people who hate it because punishment was used wrongly at their lower age, and they develop that personality that schooling is not right. That is where you get you get fierce people who mess you. So you can use it in warning. You can even use it physically, but use the right way.
Use the right way.
You know, there are places where you can hit, but not the head, not the head, not the chest. But there are people who have done that. I've seen people who walk in a maimed way. And if you follow, they will tell you I was hit by so and so. Sometimes by parents. So people misconstrue. People misconstrue that Bible verse, and they want to use the cane in the wrong manner.
The wrong manner, and for everything.
And actually, I'll tell you, to be for an effectual model of, because you should have a model of, I want to probably come to that also. What is your model of, there should be a model of trying to discipline a child. A family has it, every family has a distinct model of punishing. So the model of punishing should be effectual, and it should not raise a negative thoughts or beliefs in a child. I've seen people who punish children and know what they can say. They wanasema ule mtu sio mzuri. Why? And they are disciplined by another one, and they run to them. They open their arms and cry. Why? And actually the latter could be actually more serious in discipline than the other. The other one disciplined them once in a year, and they are so negative. The other one is actually bringing discipline to them every other week, and they love them so much. So the summary for that is that the early childhood, they want you need to be keen and show them the way out. You want them to take what you are telling them, but communication clear and very, very keenly, so that they grasp
They
it.
understand.
They understand. Those who are the other group, they want you to lay options before them,
Yeah.
and then they choose. Where you sit with your son and lay the options of how they need to be handling issues here and there.
And you agree.
And you agree, and you tell him there must be, the model should have the way of sitting down, talking, and it should not be one way, one-sided talk.
It should be a dialogue.
It should be a dialogue. Your son cannot do anything to you, but it is important if he understands and encodes what you are telling him. So once they understand, there should be a day of coming back and reviewing and letting them understand which one, allowing them to tell you which one they have opted for.
Okay.
Dad, I think this is the right way.
Okay.
Or even your daughter will say, Dad, I think this is the right way. And then you will still sit down and discuss the options they have dropped because they came from you. Exactly. And you need to understand why they dropped them.
Yes.
It's very, very important. They are not, some parents will feel that they are being mocked because they came up with ideas and the son chose another. You only need to understand why they
choose the other.
Yes.
Yeah. Because they are an individual in their own right.
Yes, they are. And you are also trying to develop an individual.
Exactly.
Because, okay.
I remember having a conversation with a parent, and they were saying, I have to pray and hear from God about this issue. Otherwise, my son cannot move on. And this is somebody who's
in church.
Yeah, this is somebody who's in their mid-20s.
Yeah, maybe 25, 26.
Yes, and I asked the mother, did you teach this child how to pray? And she said, yes. Did you teach them how somebody hears from God?
God, yes.
And she said, yes. And I told her, then you have to trust that you did a good job. Because for how long will you babysit? For how long will you be the one to pray until you hear, then he moves? What if you never hear? Does it mean they get stuck? Allow him to explore. He will make mistakes.
Yes, he will.
That's part of growth.
He will make mistakes.
And when he makes mistakes, he has to be at the place where he knows he can come back to you because you will not be judgmental and very harsh.
I was actually now coming to that.
Let the Kijana grow, yes.
So that element also of how you look at them without being judgmental will unlock a lot of things.
Okay.
They will know that to my parents, I'm not a bother. And to my parents, they accept me the way I am. Even God accepted us the way we are. We were. If God was to judge you, no one would stand before him. So you see that element of the child knowing, messing out there, and coming along through the gate and knowing, or maybe they're in a far land. Yeah. I've seen children who go and do one or two things which parents don't like. Yes. And they're in Australia, for example. They're in South Africa. You know, going again to the point that I gave about sitting with them when they are available to give them options. Yeah. And if they have gone for a long time, for example, they have gone for studies for 1 year, 2 years. These days, thank God, we have the media, we can communicate. Zoom can communicate, and others out there. The element of giving them options is very important because it will become their way of. They will know. Dad said, if I find this, I try this or that, because we are not there with them all the times. So, allowing an individual to become an individual with the right ethos, the right focus in life is very important. And telling them you are able to make choices. And if you find it becoming too hard, I'm only a call away. Very true. You can call me, but you don't tell them that I want you to grow. You don't, but you try to show them I want you to learn how to make choices. Important choices. That needs to be very clear. Important and key choices, so that not any choice they can make, they know choices that actually a dad will approve of. So it means that when you are disciplining a child from the early childhood all through, it is not good. And now I'm talking to those who are taking care of children, probably in schools, together with parents. It is not group. We don't advocate so much in counseling psychology. We don't advocate for group punishment. Yes. Where you enter a class or even if it is church or whatever, and why are you making noise? All of you kneel down.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And if you are careful, even at home,
yeah,
something is done and you do a group thing. The only thing that comes out well and important and good in group situation is where you want to do therapy or counseling through group people together to discuss their common. There must be a common factor. There must be a common denominator.
Yeah.
Our problem, my problem, and hers and his, we sit around and discuss. That comes out very well. But punishing, where you walk in and say, all of you kneel down.
Yes.
All of you do walk on your knees.
Yes.
There is always one or two or several who are doing the right thing. Punishment should not be grouped together. Because within that group, there are those who needed to be disciplined.
Yes.
And those who do not need to be disciplined. Again, the element of the originality, where the children come from, you will find that one has been told not to do this back at home by the parent. Another one, probably, you know, they are just left like that. So if you discipline the one who already knows, they will go back home to murmuring and complaining. The one who has actually messed will be pleased when others are. So
yes.
The one bring forth the discipline should be very careful. Otherwise, you will not do the right thing. So discipline must be made individual to every child. So that they don't complain. It's him. It should be. I should be disciplined as a child, coming from what I did myself. He should be disciplined from what he did.
Imagine our time is up. Our time has been so short. It's gone so fast. I feel like we still have a lot more we need to talk about. But I'm sure I will call you back again for another session. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much also for having me here.
Awesome. Wazazi, umesikia? Discipline. Yes, we teach, we work with our children. Let's not abuse our children in the name of discipline. Until next week for another session on Parenting Tuesday, do have a good day and God bless you.
Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever we upload new fresh content every day. Stay tuned and enjoy fresh, uplifting content.